Hey guys, thanks so much for joining. My name's Michael, and I am with Tyler Smith. Say hey.
How's it going, everybody out there?
Tyler is over our maintenance and road assist department, so we're just going to chat with him about a few different things. So, welcome, Tyler.
Hi there. Yep. So
give me just kind of like a quick intro to Tyler Smith. Who the hell are you?
yeah. Been with Wilson Logistics my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Only job I've ever had. So started out as a young lad and cleaning hoses and sweeping floors, and was just always in the shop. And went to changing tires, detailing trucks, and eventually started actually turning wrenches and working on trucks. And just something that just came natural, and I couldn't get away from it. And so still here, still doing it, and still enjoying it.
Nice. So you basically grew up around trucking, right?
Yes. Yep. Born and raised in it. So
through the family with all your siblings.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, just can't get away from it. So what else is there?
When did you first realize that trucking, I mean, this is a weird way to say it, like impacted your life? Like when did you realize like, oh, that's why I have food on my table is because of trucking? Like, do you remember that as an age?
Yeah, it was like middle school range. Helps when the old man was preaching to you and reminding you of how you got this stuff here. Like I said, it's all in the family, so been around it, and the whole family's trucking. So we definitely got reminded of how things got here, and be appreciative of what you have.
Yeah,
for sure. So
what else were you into as a kid when you were growing up?
Yeah, just can't get away from it. So grew up in a decent sized town, so not much to do. So had a little bit of land, so we rode dirt bikes and played around with farm equipment, and things break, you got to figure it out. So no one's buying anything new, so it was just something you had to get by with and had to figure it out, and it just always kind of came natural. Brothers even gave me the nickname of Mr. Goodwrench because I, for whatever reason, was the one out of all of us that always got to end up fixing things. And so yeah, it just came natural, and I just stayed in the same path with the maintenance and kept going down that road. So.
Right. So growing up, it was who were you surrounded by? Your siblings and close cousin? Can you give me the names?
Yeah, Cameron, Kirk, Clark, and Skipper. Skipper was always around quite a bit too. He's a cousin, and so we just get into anything we can get into. Like I said, we didn't grow up in the country, but it was a little bit out of town, so
close enough.
We weren't able to ride our bicycles to the playground or anything, so it was definitely just figure out what we can do around in the woods and tear things up and have some fun.
So the one girl of the clan, Lisa Wilson, was she around for all those shenanigans?
Yeah, she got a little tortured, and she might be a little blonde, but she definitely got a little mud on her from time to time. So yeah,
that's good.
So, yeah.
So you took a liking to working on equipment, and you said you rode dirt bikes and things like that. Do you think that's why, did that lend itself well to you getting into equipment and maintenance?
Positively. So growing up, when I was 15, traded my dirt bike for my first car, and didn't even run. And I do remember that was a big part of my life of where I am today, because I remember buying that car and it did not run, didn't have a lot of money, and the old man said, "I'll help you fix it, don't worry," and got it to the house, got it in the garage, started tearing it down, and got to a point I didn't know what I was doing. I said, "Hey, can you help me? I'm a little lost," and he left for a few hours and came back and gave me a repair manual, and that was my assistance.
Pre-internet.
So, yes.
Okay.
So here's a Chilton's manual, figure it out, and that's what I was left with, and that was something that definitely stuck with me all this time. Is got to dig in there and figure it out. And after that, it was just something that, and then I think the old man seen that in me, and seen the fact that, it just kind of came natural, and he kind of realized this is a good path, and he definitely motivated and gave me a lot of guidance in this direction for my career. Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So now you're over maintenance and road assist, and those are basically all kind of one department. Is there anything else that I'm missing in that?
No. So I'm definitely over road assist, and so we have found over time that we can limit our shops to an extent. with technology today and the way we purchase trucks, we've found it's definitely better to sell a truck before it's out of warranty, because the cost of maintenance after warranty is just extreme.
Sure.
And it is a variable cost, so we don't know how. That's a scary thing to manage when you're talking. That's would be hundreds of thousands of dollars times the size of the fleet. So definitely worth getting out of warranty. So doing that, everything's really going to the dealer for repairs on the truck side of things.
Okay.
So it definitely allowed us to grow the road assist side of things and outsource a lot of repairs, and shrink down some of our in-house repairs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So explain, what does road assist look like? Is that team just here in Springfield? Is it in Missoula and the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So road assist, we call it the call center.
Uh-huh.
That is here in Springfield at the Wilson Truck and Trailer Sales location that we have here, and that is a group of between weekends and nights and days and everything. It's a group of 8 different guys. So when the customers are calling in for assistance out on the road, they're definitely talking to multiple different people. But that is what we call them, road assist. They are here to assist, and that's kind of why we're going with that name, rather than a few other names that we've tossed around. But we wanted to make sure that everybody understands that it's more of a customer service to our customers, which we call on our drivers the customers here, because that is our customer. We're not booking freight or anything like that. So in my world in the maintenance, the driver is our customer.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So we are so it's definitely more of a customer service, just here to assist, to try to get you back on the road as fast as possible. And again, so we just tie that whole group together, get them in a room, and let them duke it out and scratch their head and try to figure out some of these mysteries that we come across. Because, like I said, technology keeps coming in. These trucks get more and more advanced, and the problems keep getting a little bit harder and harder. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. So what's like a real big challenge right now, or kind of recently, for your team that you guys are trying to overcome?
The biggest challenge we face day to day is the advance of the trucks, and keeping up with that and helping keep everyone out there trained up on how fast moving this industry is. It is just changing at a rapid pace, and trying to keep that details across the board to everybody out there in our fleet. So, it could be a struggle. So, and we do try. And obviously social media helps with that. We need to do a little better at that, and get some things out there to the guys, and we do some as much training as we possibly can while we're on the phone. That's a key that we always try to fight, but then the phone rings again, and it's never any battle. But
definitely a balance between like providing a service, like you said, to our customers or our drivers, and also finding time to put those resources together to educate. Right.
So that's a battle for sure. But we'll take it one day at a time, keep going. So yeah.
Nice. So what's something, just in your mind, either from the driver's perspective that they appreciate, or that you think your team does really well?
What do you mean by that?
So something that, what do you think is sort of like, I don't know, maybe a specialty of your team, or something that you're just really proud that they do well?
And to me, that is the customer service side of things. So I like to think that we go above and beyond from what most people would look at it. Just the fact that we try to make it a customer service role. We preach hard that it's not about technically the repair itself. It's about how we take care of that customer and getting them taken care of. Because again, as a company, we could look at the breakdown itself, and we can fix things and we can get it back on the road, and the company's fine. But what about our customer? What about our driver? That he's got bills to pay. He's got utility bills coming in his house. He's probably got a family at home, needs some food on the table. So repowering that load and taking that freight away from him, and then us getting back, pawning it off to somebody else and allowing them to get a paycheck, that doesn't really help. So, it's making sure that vision is open to the maintenance people, because that is a battle. Sometimes maintenance guys lose track that, hey, I'm here just to fix things, and it's not truly what we're after. We're after to make sure that the person out there doing the work is feeling like they're getting taken care of. So
Yeah, that makes sense. And you also work on the not just maintenance or road assist side, but really with our equipment and helping sort of spec our equipment and things like that. Is that right?
Yeah. So try to keep up with the times,
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on out there and what's new and what's fun. A lot of exciting things coming in the pipeline in the next 5-10 years with technology and electric trucks and fuel mileage and the safety of trucks and 2020 we're Freightliner is bringing out some lane assist, which will help you stick to your lane, which is going to be very exciting. Rather than just having noises go off when you crisscross lanes, where trucks will actually track in between the lines and help you, through your day.
Yeah, sure.
And the blind spot indicators, there's plenty of that's helpful, and just keeping up with all the next fun technology to allow them to ease your mind when you're out there on the road.
So dive a little deeper into the tech specific on our trucks. So you mentioned blind spot warning. Would that be something that has to be fitted on our trailers as well, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you had a trailer, or does it just work specifically from the tractor?
It's just a tractor, but it is looking back a certain amount of feet. So we are getting a lot of you're getting your blind spot. I mean,
Okay.
it really is picking up your blind spot, but it's on the truck itself. And that's where technology is coming along to where we're really getting more details. Like a lot of people have probably seen plenty of the commercials for new cars today with the 360 view camera.
Sure.
We're not there today, but manufacturers are in the process of looking into those kind of things to help with these backing incidents. And everybody knows how tight the truck stops are today. The customers are full, everybody's full. It's midnight, it's pitch black, and you're out there trying to figure out what's behind you. It's a headache, it's a pain.
Right.
So anything we can find and be ahead of and make sure we're at the top notch and that kind of stuff just helps those guys out while they're out there. So
Makes sense.
yeah. So
What about, do you know much about electric trucks?
Not a ton. Obviously, I'm not an expert by any means. I read the articles, but I'm not going to claim to be an expert from reading some articles.
Sure.
So
What are your thoughts, like just in general, about electric trucks?
it's exciting. I still think we're a ways off from truly being an over-the-road. But it's definitely some of our dedicated stuff. It's a possibility very soon. It's just the charging and the distance that we can go is the issue at this point. So we'll see where that goes. But battery technology just keeps getting farther and farther advanced.
Right.
So it's quite impressive. And I'll be honest, they probably are holding back a little bit. So is the public really ready for it?
Right. Yeah. No. So, that's definitely true, and not just about electric trucks, right? But then you also, I mean, people correlate driverless or driving assist vehicles with electric.
Yeah.
And it's not always the case. Just
No.
because we're talking about an electric
Yes.
truck doesn't mean we're talking about driverless.
Yep. No, I'm just talking no fuel.
Right.
So, yeah.
So do you think maintenance cost associated with an electric truck would be a little bit higher, or, again, you said you're not an expert, but
Not an expert, and that's one of those things that we really would have to look into, because at a certain point, yes, it will be cheaper, but at a certain point, there will be a breaking spot where, by a certain amount of hours, you're still going to need, the batteries are going to need to be changed at a certain point, and there's going to be a large cost there. There could be some electric motors starting to go out at some points. There's going to be an extremely large cost there. But the amount of hours that those go are going to be quite a ways up there. So,
Sure.
So on the front end, the costs will be probably very, very low. No oil changes and that kind of stuff. That all adds up.
Crazy.
It's all cost per mile. So,
Yeah.
But at a certain age, there should be a breaking point somewhere where it's like, all right, we probably should have got rid of those a year ago. And
Right.
that's hurting the pocketbook today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Nice. So in your world, what's something that you feel like either drivers struggle to understand, or just seems to be a sticking point that you'd like to kind of clear up?
The only thing that's always a battle to get out there is just when to get a hold of us. It seems to be one extreme to the other, and I get it. It's some of the guys are out there, and guys and girls are just, thinking they're being an inconvenience, but I promise you're not. We rather hear from you 3 times a day than not hear from you, and then you be stuck just in 2-lane backcountry highway, and
Right.
and that's the last thing we want. For example, we have had to call police out and get you an escort back to a hotel just because we're just so far away that we can't even get assistance.
Yeah.
So obviously we don't want you to be in that situation. So. And then, so saying that, it's one thing we want to make sure we're stressing is the Qualcomm. If the phone's ringing, we can only answer one phone call at a time, but we can answer multiple Qualcomm's messages at a time. But don't be scared to do both. If you didn't get through on the phone, send that Qualcomm message, and then be calling back again. Stay after us. You just never know. Sometimes we'll get seven breakdowns and within 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden you get an hour to go by, and
crickets.
Yeah. So it's hard to predict what both of us are doing on both ends. We don't know what you got going out on the road, but you don't know what we have going inside the office, and then we don't want to make any excuses for anybody. We just want to make sure that we're both working together as a team as much as possible, because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So just want to make sure everybody feels free to bug and keep calling and keep Qualcomming, and that's just something I want to make sure that's very clear, because like I said, people sometimes feel like they're inconveniencing us, and I promise that's the guy's job in road assist.
Right.
So you cannot inconvenience those guys.
Awesome.
So pester them.
That's great.
So
awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us. Really appreciate it.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's fun.
And guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions specifically for Tyler, you can put them down in the comment section. We talk often enough to get them to you and get an educated answer back. Otherwise, if you have any troubles out over the road, obviously leverage your team. And thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate it.